So I did my senior internship with Mr. Pan, who's a lawyer. I was drawn to law because I really, really love history, and I firmly believe that all law is just applying historical precedents to modern situations. And my internship with Mr. Pan just reinforced that idea. Is everyone familiar with the Go16 most interesting man in the world? That's Mr. Pan. He was a bartender. He was a social head of his fraternity in college. His college roommate was a professional wrestler. He worked on Seinfeld sets. He traveled through East Germany when it was still under the boots of the Soviets. He's been practicing law for 23 years, mostly in the domestic field, like divorces and child support and all that kind of stuff. He attended the University of Delaware and majored in history, and then went to Cooley Law School up in Michigan. So what was kind of unique about my experience, Mr. Penn doesn't work with a large firm, it's just him and another guy. So he does all his secretarial duties, like answers all his own phones, he files all his own paperwork, and this is just an example of the filing system he has. Every single case he's worked on for the 23 years he's been a lawyer is in his filing system, and I got my own file, which is pretty cool. So in the future you can go back and reflect on the fun times we had together. So this is the Virginia Law Code, and it's every single statute, regulation, and law in the state of Virginia. It's probably 20 or so volumes. It's like a PDSI, like this is county, cities, and states right there. So we're county, city, and taxes, we're towns actually. And so in Virginia is a common law state. The 49 of the 50 states in the United States operate in common law, which is precedent. So if there's ever a case that hasn't been decided before, the judge in Virginia, the decision from that case would actually become law and go into the Virginia Law Code, and lawyers can go back and reflect on that and make decisions and figure out how they're going to argue their case based off that. So the main thing that me and Mr. Pan worked on during my time with him was he gave me an actual case to file a divorce complaint for. So all this is real information, except we just changed the name from the names of the two spouses to Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. So the circumstances of this case was the husband was an alcoholic and he was beating his wife, which is obviously very unfortunate. So, and then what's also pretty interesting, there's a lot of redundancies in this. Like it says that you have to be a resident, or a citizen of the United States and of Virginia. And then down here it says that you can't be a member of the United States military or any of its allies. Well, obviously, if you're a United States citizen, you're not going to be a member of Great Britain's army or anything like that. So that's just another page of that. And then where the actual code is cited, see if there's 20-7.3 of the Code of Virginia, that is the specific statute for an alcoholic husband beating his wife. So I just think it's pretty wild how pretty much any circumstance you can think of that a divorce can happen, there is a specific statute that you need to cite in the proposal, or the court will reject it. And then what happens with this? So this will be sent to the court, and they'll review it, make sure everything's accurate, and then the person will be served. So in this case, the husband will be served with this document, and he'd have to appear in court. And then probably the most exciting part of my internship was when I went to court with Mr. Pan. We went to the Louisiana and Savannah JR&D, which stands for Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. And the first case we went to was just a plain old child support case. It wasn't that exciting. But the second one that we went to involved a mother who was like severely addicted, I think, to cocaine and meth, which is just extremely unfortunate. And she had a 4-year-old son. And then in the previous summer, so in the past year, the court's ordered that she go into a drug rehab program and surrender custody of her child to her parents, the child's grandparents, and she didn't. So she had to reappear in court, and the court like forced her to go into a drug rehab program, and she had to, like, on the scene, give custody of the child to the grandparents. So obviously that was kind of sad, but I believe in the end it was the best for the child. And my legacy is taking place on May 7th. Me and Mr. Pan, we're creating a law clinic, and he has connections in the social services system in the county. So we're gonna have older people who can't afford wills come in, and I'm gonna serve as a witness. Mr. Pan's gonna write the wills, and then Mrs. Pan can notarize them. And then the significance of this is that obviously wills are expensive. When my mom had her will done, it was $500. So are many people who can't afford that, and like everyone needs to have their affairs in order after their death, just a fact of life. And then for my paper, I wrote it on the ethics and morality of lawyers, and this is a picture of Alex Finch from the movie Still Mockingbird. And I chose to have this on here because he's a very ethical and moral person, and he's what every lawyer should strive to be. And then this kind of ties back into what I said earlier about the woman who didn't surrender custody of her child. In my paper, I talked about there was a study conducted by the University of Miami that said that 30% of kids who live with drug-addicted parents aren't taken from those households. And that's just like awfully disgusting. That's what I talked about in my paper and how we can right those wrongs in the reform system. And my advice to rising juniors is no matter how bad you think it's going to get in here and how stressed out you are, the sun will always come up tomorrow and life goes on. And then before I take questions, I just want to thank Mr. Rico for being such a great teacher and role model and all the hard work that Mr. Caraway and Ms. Apple do for the Bluey program. So yeah, questions.
What is this hurricane of the other 49? You said the 49 out of the 50 states.
Yes.
Were that special
common law?
Yeah. What is the one state that is?
I don't know, to be honest. And I know it's 49 of the U.S. states and then 1/3 of the world's population. And common law has origins in the medieval law system of Great Britain. So I'm sure it has to do with all the colonial imperialism that Great Britain did in the middle of the 16th and 18th century and all that. And 17th century.
If a state or country is opposed to common law, what is it? They just settle the case.
Yeah, it's all good. So common law is precedent. So if it's not common law, they're going to have statutes that they follow instead of the precedents from other cases. So they just ignore what happened in the past and go off the regulations that are written there.
Prince didn't have a will.
Yeah.
When should a person have a will? At what point should he or she?
I guess, well, Prince was like 52, something like that.
He's, a little older than that, right?
57, okay. I mean, I guess I think most people get them done around that 50s age frame, but obviously if you just never know what's going to happen. So I guess middle age definitely is when most people do it, but you never know. Any other questions?
Kind of about your event where you meet
Yes.
during the law firm. Where is that going to be, and how are you letting people know about
It's
that?
going to happen in the cafeteria here, and we're going to have an article written about it in the Go16 Gazette. Me and Mr. Parent have been emailing back and forth with the editor like in this past week or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a one-time thing, or are you hoping?
It's going to be annual.
Okay.
That's the plan. So.
Okay.